Stage 1, that played a 6 loss for them, was, towards the back end of the regular season, then going into playoffs. But I think this is a, a different Bleed roster that clearly, for all intents and purposes, are leagues above the rest of the region.
Yeah, absolutely. So full expectation of Bleed again are going to find a victory here and top off what would be a flawless stage, collecting all 21 points against across our 7 play days here for Asia. As for Rival, well, still an opportunity for them to see a bit of a shake up in the standings. Goes back to the discussion though as to where exactly teams will actually want to be seated. But I think you go in wanting to win this game and at least throw a bit of a shake up into the mix going into the playoffs.
Well, it's only been 5 days. Of course, we had the Super Week last week. Fridays when we kind of closed things off for Asia League, back already here on the Wednesday. Bleed 7-0 over Elevate Guz on that Friday. They were tremendous on Clubhouse. I'm a little surprised we're actually heading back to this particular map. It was brought up by James on the desk. Bleed starting defense as well. It does put Rival into a position where they're going to have to be very good on this attacking half. Amos Grim banned out, no shield bans in this particular match, as Army and Tuber to then follow as well. So shield operators aplenty, the Clash, the Blitz, the Montaigne, all available in this particular game of Club. I imagine we will see some usage. We had the second playday as well, where Bleed was 7-2 over NoCap. So it was in some way going into last week a testing week for Bleed, NoCap and Elevate, and they handled that with flying colors, only dropping 2 rounds over the 2 games. Now to finish off with Rival. I think that they're going to be in a similar mood to close this one out. Scarlet on the Blitz to begin. Attackers need to locate. Of course, Suzuki having a tremendous stage so far for Rival Esports. We saw Yao last week, actually, Guz, who subbed in and honestly looked pretty decent. Filling in for Scarlet. Scarlet, of course, now back. Yao goes to the substitute role again. But I tell you what, there's some talent on this Rival roster.
Yeah, certainly so. We'll see if they're able to show that this evening. Again, with Bleed well and truly secured for top 2. First place, I suppose, with the massive round differential.
Yeah, they are first.
They have currently. They really don't have really much to play for tonight. They're just going to run around and frag out. They're not going to show anything strategic, especially when you consider that there's every world in which Bleed's next game in the playoffs could be against Rival. There's every world in which that seeding does play out in that regard. So I'm expecting Bleed to just run around and have fun tonight.
I do also want to sort of highlight, by the way, because NoCap play Knock Knock tonight, guys. Now I think we can probably guesstimate they'll get the 3 points. Even if there's a world in which they only get the 2, they would lock in 3rd place. So it's looking very unlikely that any other team, it's looking virtually impossible for, say, a Rival here to get into 3rd place, which does mean they're going to be on the side of the bracket of Bleed, which, for all intents and purposes, and this is the time to bring out the saving strats talk, but these 2 teams are very likely to meet again in the playoffs at this rate if Rival are to, say, win their quarterfinal matchup.
So 2 minutes to go in the round, and Turd is still upstairs, top 4 in Logi alongside Reeks. Rival haven't really committed to too much of a roam clear at this point in time. They do have the line to deal with that potentially. Blitz in Logi now currently though, so Scarlet's going to take them head on, walk straight into the cross. Boost stack here from the attack. The Oryx counter works out, okay. And this round has completely fallen apart.
Songler does stat pad a little bit with the double kill up top, Turd with some, well, very funny moments. Yeah, round pretty much over. Songler will be giving it his all, though, of course, trying basically get the 1v5 ace. For all intents and purposes. He has already started off nicely with the opening 2 kills. Plenty of time as well, so he's not rushing it, but he does go straight into the arms of Leader to finish the opening round off, and that's just what Bleed can do. Yeah, so deadly. Turd's still laughing in the chat, or in the cams. Or both.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty chaotic over towards Logi there. We saw the double stack from the defense and the cross from Bleed, and then a 3-stack off the back of Blitz, then the Oryx to open things up from Reaps. Bleed eventually able to win out that trade game for the most part, and then eventually 1v5 into a 1v3. Clean work from Bleed.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And Gym Bedroom for round.
Yeah, they'll get a go at it again, but it needs to be reiterated. You know, if your rival here, this actually might be a case, Scuzz. I don't want to harp on it too much, but to really kind of nail down the fact that you're probably not going to see them take Bleed to this map in a best of 3. So, for rival, this is essentially just, let's have some fun. We know we're going to be on the side of the bracket against Bleed. We know we probably won't want to go up against their Clubhouse when it matters the most. It will get banned out. There will be the veto process. Let's just go have some fun and see what their best is like, what we can gain from them. I don't think there's really any other question. Rival, it's, yeah, pretty much locked in that they will play Bleed in the playoffs if they make the semifinals. I will say as well, Azuki, I feel like, has somewhat dropped off a little bit this stage as we've kind of continued on. Really shot out of the blocks and was just a massive standout. And it's just cooled off ever so slightly. But it does mean the rest of the team is going to have to pick up the slack.
And it is in the hands of the battery, rather, in the hands of Mentalist. He is moving towards the pond wall, and so that allows CCTV to be opened up relatively easily here for rival. It was just the mute jammer in play to help deny that. So 2 minutes on the clock then. This is a map clear take, of course, as the objective, as mentioned, is over towards Gym Bedroom. Flores in play can help to deal with some of this utility, and the con wall now opened up to help expose that position. Cross being held though by Turd. Well, pop red. Again, very standard setup here from Bleed. Rival can look to play in this, clear it out, or maybe swimming around over towards Jacuzzi, but that also a challenge with the mirror.
What am I watching? It's 4 stacking into kennels. Like, this is weird. Zuki makes entry at least in towards CCTV. They deal with Reaps, who, yeah, had a lot of targets coming his way from that breach. Still in towards Cash's turn. No time to laugh now. Songla. Buddy, don't worry about bot red. You still got to clear Cash. And a freebie onto Scarlet is Turd. It's a great shot. The 3rd round for Turd. He really wants to keep his spot in this team. Goes for more. Goes for a 4th, but loses his life. And Engine keeps this round alive with 45 seconds left. Goomine stepped on Mentalist. Easy swing. Turd saying he's farming them. Well, you know what? In that round, he certainly did.
No, absolutely. I mean, he probably should have got the last kill too. I think he had a very brief moment of hesitation, and it proved costly. But it was a really good farm from him inside of Cash. Don't know where Jackie Wu was in that position. He still had it somewhere at that point in time and elected not to use it on Cash Wall. And that, yeah, Jade could play that position pretty uncontested. And so Jackie is now in a 1v3, 20 seconds on the clock. Bleed are going to go back to back. Certainly the expectation heading into this match that it would be decently one-sided. Tertiary site may offer an opportunity though.
Zuki's hiding. Zuki's hiding.
He was a bit embarrassed.
He's like, oh no, don't watch. Yeah. I honestly don't take too much from this game, guys, for a lot of reasons, right? Like, it's a dead rubber, essentially. You know, it's our job to obviously communicate that to everyone to make sure that, you know, this is not exactly 2 teams that are fighting to the death for, you know, the be and all. Bleed cannot fall out of 1st place. They are locked in. Same with Elevate as well for 2nd. There is no result that can change that. So they have nothing to gain. Not a lot to lose either, for that matter. Rival, it's the same. You know, they're locked out of bottom 2. We've got our whole top 6 sorted, so it comes down to your seeding positions, but they're too far away from no cap to get 3rd. So the only way in which they would be able to avoid bleed would be to actually lose and fall down to 6th, which is still then requiring other results. Direwolves and Fury to be specific. So they have nothing to gain from, you know, trying and showing strats and, you know, doing everything they possibly can to win this. It's just the nature of the belly of the beast. Cash and CCTV for this 3rd round as Rival yet to really fire too much of a shot. Songler with 2 kills, of which he got, you know, late into the end of the opening round. The round was already lost. And a smuttering of ones for Scarlet and Injin. As they bring the Capital to deal with any rafters hold. Turd has been playing that position quite a lot lately on the Legion at the moment. 5 kills for him. So much talk throughout this stage, prior to it as well, during, and I imagine after. His position on this roster, but playing well at the moment. Played well last week, playing well tonight.
Yeah, I don't want to dampen his performance tonight if he continues at this pace, but this isn't a dead rubber game, so if he can perform like this in playoff, all power to him. That would be incredibly impressive, but in a match like this, sure, it's great, good confidence builder, and if he can run around and get kills, that's awesome. Doesn't really change the complexion of the stage too much.
I think the concept of run around, get kills is actually something I'd like to apply to Uzuki here. You know, you're playing the Nook, it's, yeah, a bit of a dead rubber game, but I think he's certainly got the capabilities to just find some kills, be a nuisance. Thorn in the side, bleed, potentially here on the attacking half, but so far 0-2. Albeit a couple of assists as Hinjin, outside in parking, will lose a bit of damage. Lead. Pretty decent control so far. Easy headshot on to Songler. Not exactly sure what that peak was. He wanted to try and get Jackie Wu up in towards rafters with the asphyxiating bolts to clear out Turd, who's still alive.
What?
On 2 HP, eventually dealt with by Hinjin. Lead will still keep their advantage in terms of players and double down with the kill from Hulven. They've dealt with Jackie Wu on the shield. And suddenly down to Azuki and Scarlet.
Drop down punished by Azuki. But Reaps trade over towards Lounge. So Scarlet now left in the 1v3. Lee doing a good job locking down that garage position. A perfect rotation. All 3 sites looking clean. I wouldn't mind seeing them go to maybe bar in this half and try and mix it up a little bit, but again, they probably don't want to reveal too much inadvertently, so we'll likely go back down to basement. Lead will look to keep this streak going.
Yeah, I mean, most of the round here is just lost by this swing from Songler towards the doorway, maybe anticipating the bolts to have already expanded out the flames, but they hadn't quite, so Turd was able to still hold his position. Not a lot of pressure from Jackie Wu on the Montang. And so he's able to just kind of just stand there and watch that doorway, free kill, and they deal with the Montang all too easily. At that point, the round's pretty much done. Back to basement, onto the scope personnel for Turd. He has been flexing on it. He has been trying to highlight to everyone his increased operator pool, and certainly this stage it has been more prominent than ever before. It was one of the pieces of criticism his own team imparted upon him. It seems like he's really taken that to heart, and he's put the work in. He's increased his operator pool. He's playing better. And at the end of the day, it's win-win for Bleed, guys. You either find improvement through Turd, who knows your system, or you replace him with someone that you feel is better. And that's just the ruthlessness that I think they as a team and as an organization they have. And it's why we see them do so well internationally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can go into this sort of matchup with the mindset that it's not too important, obviously, but you still want to play some quality Siege, and you don't want to let your form drop before the playoffs. So it's just about maintaining sharpness, and there can be little things that you want to improve upon. Maybe not strategically, but in terms of maybe communication, or you might shift a couple of positions around that players are, you know, holding, or operators they're playing, etc. Test the waters a little bit. So the scope post here, round 4. So currently over towards Garage on the roam. could play for his life on this position, and if he gets caught, switch out the other shell, likely on site. Elsewhere, Reap side of blue taken down by the Ying of Yinjin, so it's a solid clear. Took a little bit of damage for his troubles, but he'll stay alive, and those candles in the late round could be super impactful. Also, Hoven double droned main, but both drones no longer being watched. Sneaky play here from Hoven, which could be quite impactful.
Has he made any noise? Well, he's honestly played that poorly in terms of his positioning and movement. Some of the very basic fundamentals for someone who's so good. Just the way he's swinging around through the doorways there and left himself wide open. They did find a kill, though, through Mentalist, actually. I think Turtzler has actually transferred back as Jackie Wu's gone for the plant inside of Arsenal. Is anyone there to deny? Songler's got good control. No one in towards blue. It's a late transfer from Turd. And in the end, Rival will take this basement round. It feels as if, to me, that's the sort of round in which Bleed tried to just do too much. Tried to be too fancy and too cute. And yeah, that was never going to work for Turd.
Yeah. Certainly some ambitious plays in that last round, but Bleed having fun with it, which is good to see. There's nothing worse than in a final play day or final couple of play days like this, especially when a team is so dominant in lead, will just either play completely boring Siege or completely not care. I think Bleed are caring enough to have some fun and try some stuff and try to make the game at least entertaining. So certainly respect them for that. And basically go for round number 5. Third up to 6 kills so far, so he's continuing to lead the charge. Rival though is just Suzuki Eve and everybody else still negative. They're trying to find form heading into playoffs.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser. Defenders have eyes on the diffuser.
If that had worked though, it would have been insane.
So Bleed will look to play a little bit more conventional here in this 5th round as they reshape their operator lineup. Ayid, Mira, Goyo, and Co. Response Scarlet onto the Blitz. Maybe anticipating a little bit more of a bunker down defense here from Bleed, and they can certainly work the vert angles towards Kitchen with the Bark. Blitz can go dirt, could go down main, could drop Moto. Maybe blue. Options here for Rival. And suddenly, because it's just one singular trolling round from Bleed, Rival only need one more attacking round here in this half. That's a Blitz making his entry into what's secret. Feet showing. Not flashed. Trying to turn back. In the end, the Blitz will lose his life. Mentalist got the kill. They did finally take down Turd.
I mean, it was pretty ambitious from Scarlet, but got something from it, so it was good to see.
I don't know if that's a worthy trade, though, to lose the Blitz stat
Oh, absolutely
early into
not.
the round.
Oh, no, it's not, but it was fun.
Was it? Well, fun for who?
You wouldn't say that if Rival were fighting for a spot in playoffs.
No, absolutely not. A really big testament to the competitive integrity of this particular match, where both teams are clearly having a bit of fun. Yeah, certainly still trying, but having some fun along the way.
Again, like I
Stuff will
said
get opened
before,
up.
Rival, you have a bit more to lose in this matchup. In terms of seeding, there is the possibility that they're going to face Bleed again in this bracket, depending on how it shapes up. So,
Yeah, that's why they want to lose.
well, they could also win it, but
No. Well, no cap of playing knock knock, guys. Come on.
still a possibility.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
I'm
A
not
loss,
gonna debate this
doesn't,
with
a
you.
loss doesn't guarantee them that they get knocked out either, right?
Yeah, it's a larger possibility, though. Come on, Michael.
I believe in the knock.
You believe in knock knock? The team is already eliminated? They also don't even have Spidey time. I mean,
Oh, they don't have Spidey time? Okay, no.
No,
I take it back. Oh, never
no.
mind that.
Spidey time's on his Civ, mate. We're going to get them in the next game as well as they take on Fury, who actually find themselves in 6th place, which is the, well, I'll leave it to Rob to discuss later on the desk in terms of competitive integrity, but Fury would love to finish in
Whoa.
6th.
I'm very scared to be casting that game.
I'm not.
I'm already very scared.
20 seconds left of this one as the flashbang goes out. Smoke Gaspabe as well. And Mentalist and Hoven will comfortably hold this one down. Not a lot of time remaining for a very low HP Songler and Jackie Wu. Subsequently, both will fall at the same time, and that will be a 4th round acquired for Bleed Esports.
I mean, the awkward thing about Fury as well is, and it really flicked the switch when Nick said it on the pre-match, is if you're a team that's out of form, you want to avoid the better teams as early as possible. Whereas if potentially if you were peaking or you felt like you could actually take them down, it was a little bit more irrelevant. It's definitely fair to say that at the moment, Fury are nowhere near the peak of their powers, and so they probably do want to avoid Bleed at all costs. So, yeah, that next match is going to be very interesting. But, all our focus currently still here on Rival v Bleed. Bleed defensively looking very sound and having fun in some of these rounds and trying some intriguing strategy, but clearly fundamentally they are the far superior roster as expected.
Going through the motions, just getting the job done as we expect from Bleed Esports. Now, the big thing will be, guys, actually moving forward in this particular game, if you want to have some fun, can Bleed keep their round losses in single-digit territory by the end of the regular stage, which is, well, conclusion of this. To make it pretty simple, they would have to close this out 7-1 now, which would put them at 49 rounds won for 9 rounds lost.
Well, do you think they're going to do it?
I mean, it's a little bit tricky because Rival are going to go on defense club. You probably assume they can win things like basement.
How many rounds did they lose in stage 1? They lost 26 rounds in stage 1.
26.
So the gap has widened. That's insane. Wow. If I had to
Massively.
guess, I would have thought it was maybe like 15, 20 max. It's 26 losses. Wow.
I just had
They actually lost more rounds than Fury.
I just had an internal like beep 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 coming from James Devmato where it's like, well, actually they lost 3 rounds to Hasib Warriors, but the forfeit. You had to get that one in.
Even if you put that in, it's still a big gap in stage 1.
It is. It is.
You reckon Bleed would have lost that game if it had a...
I honestly, this is the thing. I still think they could have actually lost it because they said we're going on defense. It was Skyscraper, if I remember, and
That's Cafe. Yeah. Oh, was it Sky? No, I thought
that was Cafe. You're right. Sorry, it was Cafe. Similar in notion, though. I think, right? Going into Cafe defense for Hasib. I would have backed them in. I don't know. They were playing very well. It got to 3-3, 3 attacking rounds on Cafe. Yeah. But we'll never know. That's the unfortunate reality. I'm sure if you're a Hasib Warriors fan, then you probably say that they could have got the job done.
Yeah, they actually genuinely got out. How funny is it that that is pretty much the only time this stage they've been genuinely outplayed?
Yeah. Heaps with the opening kill. The only other game that's actually been close for Bleed was the Fury game of all teams. 7-4. Maybe that's why they still have such high respect to Songler. Full white from the Candela. That's not helpful from Hinjin. Just as he was trying to clear out that flipped mattress. My goodness. Round was over before I could even get my words out. Flawless from Bleed as they go 5-1 up. And we are a couple of rounds away from seeing both of these teams into the playoffs, of course, next week. Just going through formalities here for Playday 7. Man, Mentalist having fun this game, though.
Yeah, he absolutely farmed in that round. Able to lock down bedroom. Good little stat pad for him. I wonder how he's been looking this stage. He's not necessarily known for posting up huge numbers. I'm loading it up now. Currently top fragging off the back of that round. Man, he must have got so many kills. My stat page is taking forever to load. I guess that fun fact is going to be on pause. Oh, here we go. So Mentalist heading into the night. He was the lowest rated player on the team, but he still had an even 100 EPS. Still very impressive. 74% cost.
10 seconds to
He's certainly been doing a good job.
5 seconds left before insertion. Locate and defuse a bomb.
When it comes down to these next 2 rounds, guys, if Bleed can have single digits through 7 player days. Oh, Hoven's just copped one there in the back of the head there. He's almost lost his life on the blitz. Not ideal. Do you think as the stage has gone on, teams and players are getting a little bit better at dealing with shield ops? Prevalence and the strength of them may be waning ever so slightly?
No. Well,
Not even a little bit?
When you say as the stage has gone on, I don't really know.
Yeah.
As the year has gone on, definitely not. We're seeing the ban rate and the win rate both increase. So
Well, I'm
At
not
least
so talking.
globally.
That's why I said stage.
I don't think so. I don't think there's enough data.
Okay.
I would
Bomb
be more
located
comfortable
by
formulating my opinion after the major. But if you want to talk about Asia specifically, I don't think it's an outlier from what we've seen globally, no.
Okay. Often, I think, preparing for a potential oil pit push here. Reaps is hunting. There is hinging towards CCTV, but Mentalist will just win the solo battle.
Mentalist top frag,
Outside
question
the
mark?
CC window, yeah, and he is top fragging. Oh, and that's a free kill as well outside of Secret. Feel like we haven't seen much of Leader in this game, guys, but he gets himself a kill there as Jackie Wu is down on the vigil. Finished off by Hoven. I think it was last week, actually, Leader went ballistic and had an amazing week in the last 2 playdays that we just recently had. Today, though, it's all about Mentalist and Turd. It's the strength of this roster, and then when you consider Hoven and Reaps are typically they're like statistical leaders and the top players, you can definitely still expect to get good performances out of the other 3. They are so dominant in this region. 8-1 for Mentalist.
Whew. Wonder what Mentalist's kill record is. Because again, it's not really his role to be collecting this kind of kills in most games. Oh, got on the flank by Azuki. Right by his standards tonight, 4 and 5. Maybe in a position here though to help clutch up alongside Scarlet, who finds 1 himself. He's also above on the flank, but cut down. 20 seconds then for Azuki to put on a bit of a show.
15 seconds to go. 10 seconds remaining.
I think by now you should know in this region it's the Reap show, guys, not the Azuki show. Getting taught a bit of a lesson here for the final playday. Rifle absolutely will not be going to Clubhouse in a best of 3 against Bleed if they are to make a semi-final. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Where do they go against Bleed if they
That's a good question.
inevitably have to face them in a semi-final?
That is a good question.
Well, that's assuming they win their first game in the bracket.
But I feel like it's the same. Actually, we probably had a very similar conversation last week with Elevate, right? When Elevate lost 7-0 on Club, and we're just sitting there like, well, we're probably not going to see them play Club in the grand final. Lead have been very good on Club a couple of times this stage. Even played Fury here. In fact, they played Cafe and Skyscraper once, Labs once, and 4 Clubhouses, guys. So going into the playoffs, there's a couple of ways you could look at it. You know, you can kind of sit there and say maybe the map pool
10 seconds to go.
hasn't been shown that much. Is that good? Is that bad?
5 seconds to insert.
But it also goes to show their dominance on Club. To me, suggests that's an insta-ban if you're a team versing them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, for Rival heading into this game as well, they hadn't banned Clubhouse once, at least what I've got documented. Been banned against them several times though. So it's a map that they're clearly comfortable in playing, but the gap, even in a low pressure environment for Bleed like this, it's quite evident. Gym bedroom then for round number 8. Some intriguing operators being brought here by Bleed. Mav to help open up Jacuzzi.
Triple
That's
shield.
not too uncommon, but yeah, triple shield to try and steal the deal here. See how this
We just
one
needed
works
the
out.
clash from Rival. We could have got the quad.
Yeah.
Reaps pulls out the pistol, though, on the blitz and opens things up. But they do lose 2 of their 3 shields pretty quickly at the hands of Azuki. Gets himself now up to an even ratio, 6-6. Rough one for Jackie Wu, 1 and 6 in this game. And a chance for Rival to extend this and to also deny Bleed the ability of having just single-digit round losses on the stage, or at least in the regular portion. Ends up being now a rather fascinating round to see if they can close this out. As Turd makes his way towards top main, he pre-fires with the pistol. Mentila's still outside of Jacuzzi with Leader on the roof, so we'll see if Mentilas can also bag himself double-digit kills inside of 8 rounds. Leader flashes but doesn't follow in towards Logistic, and he gets caught on an angle find by Scarlet. And with the loss of Mentalist, indeed, this will be a round loss for Bleed. And the single-digit round loss differential for this stage will not feature, unfortunately, for Bleed.
Rip. Yeah, the triple shield meta was not particularly successful in this round. Off the back of Azuki's pick over towards Garage, able to find 2 picks. Leader not dropping off the back of these flashes. I'm going to fall into a frostmat anyway. And those flashbangs unable to lock some of the key positions to enable the likes of Turd to finally break the cross over towards top main. Basement then, round number 9.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
Continually chip away at this match. The scope post in play now. Azuki can utilize that on the roam and establishes the one on site over towards Arsenal to watch down long. Aid in play here on Club, which isn't always the case, should bolster the defense here significantly for Rival as well. But the lineup here from Bleed indicative that they are probably going to go a little bit more direct. I thought that would be bolstered by the guys, but they instead go for the Thatcher, probably in response to Aid.
10 seconds
So if
left
they
before
cook
insertion.
something up here. I've seen this quite a few times from Bleed Basement with the Osa. They try and get Mentalist in through Ash Wall and plant covering that for long and maybe a bit of Earth control. So
Attackers must locate
I assume
and
they'll go for that
defuse the
similar
bomb.
step play here again.
Yeah, not the only ones as well. I think it's also a tactic that's utilized in Korea.
Must be that.
Bleed. Yeah, it must.
Is that a strat that PSG play by any chance?
I can't say. It's been a little while since we've done Korea. I might have to rain check on that one.
I just wanted to make a joke about Nick.
Ah. Yeah, but then Nick can just make a joke about Fabian and just wash his hands of it, so... Easy exit strategy.
Oh no,
Yeah,
not an easy exit strategy from here for Azuki.
Well, he does make his way out comfortably in towards Kitchen. He can also now transfer out and back down to Arsenal and give up that shell. Yeah, Bleed will typically have a troll round and then follow it up with a pretty normalized round. It's pretty stock standard for them. I wonder if there's a pre-placed Nitro here.
Nah.
Probably not. No.
Where's Vert?
I was just thinking he could... Oh! A chance to get a kill onto Scarlet. I was thinking maybe he could play the camera of the Scopos to get some information there. Maybe try and get a kill. But that just seemed like a set and forget from Azuki to give that shell up so he could transfer back down. I don't even know if he actually needed to do that. I think a normal rotate down main stairs was still more than viable. Azuki spotted. No shell remaining, of course.
Mentalist has Kid over towards blue, so I don't know if the Ashwall strat is exactly what they will end up going for. Although he might reposition out, yeah, that's probably going to be the case. Over towards main, 4v5. Leader can sneak over towards dirt like we saw previously, and Hoven can unlock blue with Candelas. And that's recognizing this push now for Bleed.
Last one out from Hoven as he drops down with it. One behind, two in front. What is that positioning? Talent Shield down. The Mentalist going to go for the plant. Tapset gets off it. Really need a little bit of help here from Turd and Leader. Mentalist stuck in the corner. And Songlet will lose his life to Turd. Big kill found. Leader inside of Turd. Scarlet, though, playing back of Arsenal here, trying to take contact. Mentalist doing a decent job of staying alive behind that shield. What an ankle. Turd, though. Then the drop down. Scarlet, position known, and flushed out in the end as Bleed will close this out. Very comfortably, Made Adju. As always, the best when it comes to this region. Another season with the #1 seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're professional about it tonight, so credit to Bleed. Tested a couple of ideas, had some fun with it, and then ultimately leant back on old habits there on that final basement push to secure themselves a very dominant stage. And heading into the playoffs, they are, without a singular doubt in the minds of anybody, the #1 team to take down in Asia.
As I throw back over to the desk, I do have one question for Mr. Moritson. Does he know who Spidey Time is?
I don't know who Spidey Time is.
Oh,
Spidey Time.
no. Oh,
What?
no, he's missed out.
What?
He's missed out. It's lore that will catch you up on slowly and surely. Penguin.
Oh,
Some of the
no.
most unbelievable stuff you've ever seen. Dev, speaking of unbelievable stuff, we went into this with high hopes for Rival Esports, but high hopes don't necessarily mean a full amount of trust when you're going up against a indomitable force like Bleed.
Yeah. These guys are the best team in the region, and no one can contest that. A question in playoffs perhaps will be posed, but here in the round robin phase, no one can hold a candle to them. It's a bit of a shame, as Jake said on the broadcast, that they didn't manage to close it out 7-1, because then they would have only lost single-digit rounds if you exclude the forfeit game. But if you look at Clubhouse holistically, they played it 3 times, did Bleed, and they only dropped 2 rounds across the 3 maps that they played on it. And both of them were in this game. So that's a pretty impressive stat.
That is absolutely horrifying when you look at things. Now, with Bleed, Pengu, have you found out who we were talking about?
I found out, yes.
Yeah, very fantastical from Jason Oxendiddy there. A bit of a throwback for I don't know what purpose, but he gave it to us.
Oh
Pengu, we're now looking at Bleed as being by far and away the best team in Asia. You know, for quite some time, there's been a bit of question over them. Fury, maybe Elevate was slipping in, but I think at least for group stages, best of ones, there's absolutely no question. There's no doubt.
I don't think that Bleed is going to be any weaker in best of threes either. That's the bigger story for me. It's not that, best of one team, they're winning, etc. No, they got a good map pool. They got good players. They do the prep work, and they've been playing very few maps so far in the entire stage. So they're so ready for best of threes. If they can keep up this kind of performance and win games like 2-0 in those best of threes, they'll take this kind of prep work also to the major internationally. So they're looking absolutely on fire, and just the gunfights themselves, they just stormed all over Rival Esports. Had no chance.
And when you look at it, it's kind of crazy to see even Mentalist having a game like that, Dev. I think it was 8-3 I've got on my notes here. It just goes to show that it doesn't matter who you're looking to. It's across the board. You've got gunners that are good, but a team that can facilitate it no matter what player is in that position.
Yeah, Mental's actually getting quite a few opening picks as well, and particularly on Clubhouse, where usually you've got hard breaches that are not allowed to die. You don't expect your supports or any of your hard breach players to be in those opening engagements, but Bleed are just so well-rounded. There were some cheeky things, I didn't mind. I think it was Azuki on the Scopos trying to aggressively play around kitchen hallway, and then he goes into kitchen and zaps on out of there back to site. Kind of cool plays, but again, Bleed just very easily recomposing. And I ran the numbers and looked back, and in fact, if we look at the last 2 years of Asia League and the Southeast Asia League we had last year, Bleed have only dropped 1 map in the round robin phase of 4 stages, and that was to Elevate in stage 1. So these guys are really dominant. Last year, the story was that they couldn't hack it in BO3s. They couldn't hack it against Fury. The conversation has really changed this year, and even in the last 6 months, these guys have well and truly established themselves as the big dogs in this region, and I think everyone will be surprised if they don't make it to Montreal, but the job's not done yet, and BO3 is going to be a very different beast.
Bit of a Kobe Bryant throwback there. Job's not done. It ain't done yet. They've still got a while to go. Thank you. That change that we're kind of talking about, shifting away from, their performances of the past, early last year when they first kind of formed together and started to look a little bit competitive, into now what is just a snowballing beast. Do you think that most of this comes down to that international experience that's being brought? One from their international performances, but two, also the imports that they've now got.
Yeah, I think international experience definitely matters. Also, they seem like a very emotional team to me from the outside. Thursday in the in-game chat and stuff like that, having some banter. I think Julio joined the roster as a coach has made such a big difference for them to say, guys, you know the strat, you know how to shoot straight in the server, but emotional control and prep work, that's what you're missing. That's what the region in general might be missing, actually. So they have a bit of an edge there with the imports, and now they've been sticking their guns together for a long time. I mean, there was a whole minus turret plus turret situation. I'm still not sure how that's going to go in the long term.
Yep.
But I think the core of this roster is certainly going to stay together.
Yeah, core of this roster with one gunner that's always on the tip of our tongue, Reaps. Let's welcome him in for the first time in stage 2. Reaps.
Hello.
I look forward to this moment because we didn't get it last week. I want to ask you, how have you been for stage 2? We don't get to chat to you very often.
It's good. I think the whole team environment after EWC, we improve a lot. The coordination, the fundamental, yeah. So the stage has been really good.
Yeah, we can see that with how many big wins you guys have had. You're looking pretty much untouchable. 2 7-0s on Clubhouse, now a 7-2 on Clubhouse. And today we saw a little bit of Skopos play. Now, it wasn't by you, it was by Azuki on your opposition and Turdster on your team. But can you tell me a little bit about what you think about Skopos, the new operator, and what ways she can be used?
I usually start playing Skopos, but I'm the slave using 30 shotgun bullets and have to use SMG to fight low angle. But if I'm the guy playing Skopos, I just run around and shoot. I probably not gonna use my transfer. Oh, there were only one time I can use transfer. Oh, I'm low HP. Oh, transfer. Just pick another. Yeah.
Nice. Bit of a little spoiler here. Your Discord name is Reaps No Brain. Was that kind of signifying the gameplay today? Because it seemed like you guys didn't care too much about strategy or playing, super tight game of Rainbow Six Siege, which is like running over your opponent, taking gunfights, and showing that you can just win this without any real need for, strats.
No, that my Discord name is my teammate troll me, and I just sometimes I couldn't figure out something, and it's really funny. So they just no brain on my Discord name.
Love that.
For the strategy, I love how my team adapt a lot. Every time before the game day, we just talk about how the team gonna counter us, how we're gonna counter their counter. Yeah, and we basically follow the strategy, but we get a lot of adaptation in it. So
awesome.
Counter the counter. That's fantastic. Now, Reaps, you mentioned at the very start of the interview, quite a bit's changed for you and the team heading out of EWC and into stage 2. Dev brought up a statistic that you haven't lost a best of 1 for God knows how long. You haven't lost a game really for beyond my recollection. Sorry. I have to ask you, what is the real difference maker? Because you guys are well and above where the level of competition is in Asia now. Where is this coming from?
I think thanks for the Julio and Landa. They really prepare everything for us. Every day you can he just watch all the world, and then we decide what map we play best. Then Landa helping us what setup they're gonna run, what attack, what kind of attack. So we prepare well in BO1, but in the best of 3, obviously it's kind of hard to prepare everything. So.
Well, I can tell you right now, we're all looking forward to best of 3s and seeing how far you guys go and what you can do. And then, of course, what it's like in Montreal for you. It's going to be a bit colder this time of year. But, Reeves, thank you very much for joining us, mate. Is there anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Thank you guys for supporting us, Bleed Esport. Yeah, see you guys in playoffs. Bye-bye.
Beautiful. Ciao, Reeves. can I just say, we're always looking forward to a Reaps interview because we don't know what we're going to get. All right, we're just going to put it out there. We don't know what we're going to get.
Man,
with
a few
Reaps.
words.
Man, a few words, but Dev, he stared down the barrel with every question with no other player does. No other player looks at the camera. They always look at their screen. So I got to give props where props is due. Look, I think at the end of the day, this is starting to sum up the most dominant team. Dev, would you say that this is potentially the best roster we've ever had in Asia, period?
Ooh, yeah, wow. Like that's a big call, but honestly, I'm starting to think maybe. What we really need to see is Bleed do better than top 8 in an international event for me to really believe that, because there's been a long history of Rainbow Six esports, and we have seen teams push really deep at international events in the past. Back in 2019 we had Aerowolf, which funnily enough Mentalist was actually on that team as well, and they made it to the semi-finals in Tokoname. They took down the Giants at the time, which is one of the big French teams, and yeah, I think that Bleed are probably the current evolution of the kings of Asia, and it hasn't always been the case. Like, we've kind of been looking for that storyline for about a year and a half now, but I don't think we have really had the right to fully say it with full confidence until now, because right now it's the right time. They're in the right place. Fury have dropped off. Elevate can't catch them. Bleed have fortified their position at the very top of Asia. Not only do they have Julio, but I really appreciate that Mentalist also called out Lenda, their analyst from Brazil. And the combination of those two support staff, Leader joining the team, and having the best players in Asia on the other 4 on Bleed, I mean, it's just a dream come true for this roster.
It certainly is. They are starting to double down on a lead that was absolutely phenomenal. Plus 34 round differential coming into today's match. They will finish clear atop of the ladder as we head into playoffs, and we're all looking forward to their best of 3s because God only knows what they've got cooking up inside that team. We do go to a break. On the other side, Fury take on Hasid Warriors.